Welcome to Electripreneur Secrets, the Electrician's podcast. I'm your host, Clay Newmeyer. With me, as always, my esteemed co-host, Joseph, the sales bot, Lucani. Joseph, how you doing today?
Another beautiful day, man. I love hanging out with you on a regular basis. We've got a fire topic to talk about, and I'm ready to roll up the sleeves to make it happen.
Absolutely. Today is no exception to us helping you master sales, simplify pricing, and deliver premium level service as we continue to show up and help you do 5 days a week. If you haven't noticed by now, I usually make a mistake already because we threw the fancy shit out and just said, you know what? We're going to do the important stuff, which is show up. So we showed up for you, so show up for them. Who are they? They're your clients, and they need you to serve at the highest level. So take our advice, take our action items, take what we're talking about today and put it to use, please, please, please. And then take those wins and bring them back. Put them on the wall, put them in the chat, engage with us in our private Facebook community so we can all rise up, so we can change this industry together. That's what I urge of you today.
Amen to that. I was going to say, it's about damn time we all banded together for the Sparkies, right?
All right. Preach. So today we're talking about something really fun. A client on the inside came to us. Big shout out to Rapid Electric, Chris and Mike. Absolutely killed it with a promotion that was put on by a local radio station. Now, they may have had an inn where they live, but regardless, they saw this and their intuition led them to be a part of this thing. So basically, the layout was this. The radio station does a $100,000 home makeover giveaway. What they required for you to become a participant in this giveaway, in this draw, as a homeowner, was to tell them what you would do. And then they attach certain sponsors, like our friend's electrical company, for all of the electrical work that you're requesting. So at the end of this draw, yes, someone wins $100,000, and our dear successful clients, sure to be successful clients, get the benefit of roughly 400 warm leads and their needs, desires, and problems. If I can just cap this off by saying, if you guys have been following me for any length of time, you've heard me talk about the superpower of NDP, needs, desires, problems. And that superpower being, I wish I could pull my glasses down like an X-Man, look at the neighbor 46222 Princess Ave and see their electrical problems so I could just walk over and serve them at the highest level. So what just happened in this promotion is absolutely brilliant. It's huge. And they've got that list. What are your thoughts on this, Joseph?
I mean, my brain literally was like shot out of my ears when I heard that he had gotten 400 leads, because I was like skeptical. I was like, well, are these qualified leads? He's like, yes. I'm like, and they want electric work? Yes. And they want it now? Yes. And I'm like, my first thought was, if it costs $200 to $500 usually per lead on average, if you think all the times it takes the phone to ring and all the marketing goes behind it, he was gifted somewhere around $8,000 worth of leads that now he can take to reinvest in his company and serve a drastically bigger pool of people and show off that he is the person and they are the company that they should exclusively work with for the next 20 years.
I want to go bigger than that. I think I got to correct the math there, because if that true cost per acquisition was around 400, you know what? Stay at 200. 400 warm leads would not be, what did you say? 8,000. Add a zero.
80,000. Holy shit.
Is that too much? Do we got to pull a calculator?
I actually think I'm going to, yeah.
Actually mind blown here, but adding those zeros up, that should be 4 zeros, no?
So we've got 200 times 400. You're right. That's 80,000.
Math skills proven right here. We still got it. Wait till we triangulate something. Woo.
I know, but think about it. So we went from, I thought it was impressive at $8,000 in free leads, and he got $80,000 worth of free leads. So now the important part is, what do we do?
Yeah, the pump up's done. There's got to be an action on this, and we got to act quick.
Right. Now, in my mind, the first thing that comes to attention is to let the customers know as a congratulations. Like, assume that there was some sort of promotion, like they knew that they were entering. What I would usually do is contact them and say, hey, I just want to congratulate you. You were entered into this contest, and I want to let you know you've been selected for someone to come out to your home and perform an inspection. What we'd be doing is we come to your home, perform a complete turnkey whole home electrical safety inspection. where we're going to give you an actual itemized report at the end, and you'll know that you have a clean bill of health, or you'll know what actions you need to take accordingly. When would be the best time that I can get out to your home to help you with that?
Yeah. And I love that approach. Obviously, we're trying to get face to face as much as possible. That kind of answers the first question. Really, for many, is like, okay, well, path of least resistance would be what?
I mean, path of least resistance is just email,
Email.
right?
Is
Like
that going to
email,
be effective?
text. It's not going to work because the thing is, how many emails do we get that we just unread, ignore? I
I
mean, that's
ignored
just
a couple from you already today. Just
my
kidding.
heart,
Just kidding.
the dagger to the heart. But the
for
fact
real.
is, it's true. There's so many people that will just ignore email because it's a dinosaur. It's not something that's common anymore. People text, people message. There's social media that you can use, but a phone call always trumps everything. Because, like you say, and I really feel like this is something that should be etched in stone. People do not care how much you know until they know how much you care. And you cannot communicate voice inflection anywhere other than in person over the phone. So the question comes down to, if you had $80,000 worth of free leads, would that justify you parking yourself for a couple of days and making some serious outbound calls? Task the entire team, write a script. Because if you think about it, the script I just came up with is off the top of my head. First, start with someone with a stake of gratitude, congratulate them for winning the agreement. And now, as a result, they get to experience your level of service at no additional cost to them. This is a service you normally charge up to $500 for, and you're getting it for free.
Yeah. I like tying in the price and that zero risk component. I think that there's a because frame in there that we kind of danced around already because you're in this competition, right? Because we always say the power of that word. You have the best because frame right now. And the reason we brought it here really is the conversation wasn't done. We ran out of time this morning. We felt like we got to continue this thing and really get to the bottom of it. So there are no right and wrongs here, guys. This is a think tank. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. Let us know if you're live in the Facebook group, if you've got that VIP access, go ahead, type in the comment box. What would you do with 400 hot leads? How would you approach this to maximize that call conversion rate to get to the doors and to earn some clients?
Got some ideas. I didn't want to steal the thunder of everyone who's in the lives, but my brain is literally racing in all the ways because I feel like there's literally a clock that's ticking. And every moment we don't take action on these leads, someone is losing interest.
I agree.
So if our first thing was to do an outbound reach, and we're saying that we're going to do an inspection, that's one way. I still think that the outbound reach is the best, but you could offer and change the promotion based on what they need. So what you can do is, let's say for some reason these leads were specified and they had a reason, like I want a pool, I want a panel, whatever it is. You can let them know that you're going to offer like, hey, right now we're actually offering a $200 promotional price for anyone who's entered into this agreement. So regardless of what you call me for, there's already this much that's available for you. Now, I know some people are going to be like, well, God, you're just going to be doing free work. Not if you follow the process. The process is meant to not only identify an emotional need, but to learn about the home as a whole. There's very few things that your customer is going to ask you to do and say, I need one switch changed. That's it. The whole house, all your safety concerns, all your upgrades, all your anythings, that's what you need?
And
unlikely.
There's an end there. Sorry to interject, but the because frame is bigger than even just getting to know their electrical system and taking that ownership. That's amazing. But also the fact that we're trying to develop relationships. This isn't a matter of if they want this. They wrote it down on paper and submitted it. They want this. And right now, they don't think they can have it. They would rather someone gave it to them. So we just leverage that and build a relationship. That's where the 30,000 foot view sticks with me. So I just wanted to put that in there.
I think that's great. And you know what? I have no problem with you following up on it, because when in doubt, the two of us combined is what's going to get the answer solved. Only one half of the coin doesn't work. So I like that you added the and because in that statement. Now, in addition to it, then it comes down to now, how do we actually deliver on these calls? Because if you think about it, if we have 400 calls, do you have 400 free slots? Maybe not. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. Now, my first thought is that I would want to offer a warm appointment first and let them know, hey, I'm just trying to come by and determine when would be the best time to help you with this. Is this a spring project or is this a next year project? Introducing the time frame between, is this a now or is this a later? If it's a now, obviously we book the appointment for the next available spot we have. But there's no sense going out to a call where the customer is clearly not in the position of moving forward. But that's good too, because we clearly can't take on this many influx without hiring new people. So to let them know, it's like, here at Service Up Electrical, we would never want to let you feel like you've been forgotten. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a tentative appointment between this date and this date, usually ideally November, December, January, February, the slow seasons for us, and say, I'm going to put a tentative appointment on these days. I'm going to put it in pen. I'm going to reach out to you about a day or so in advance when you come out. And just to confirm, when I come out, what did you say you wanted to get done? And then write down what they said they wanted to do. In addition to that, write down anything that you feel like you could gain from that conversation you had over the phone and include it into their notes on file. That way, when you come back several months later, you're like, oh yeah, I remember you were telling me you've been married, you've lived in the home for 30 years and you've always wanted to have this kitchen renovation. Wouldn't it make more sense to align yourself with something they want and just triangulate towards that?
It does. It does. And I hate to do a tangent, but you actually just gave me some genius. I
Go
think
for it.
there's something here. Pre-contest, pre-draw, this might be an edge. Reaching out because the electrical items listed, I don't believe, would use up the fair proportion of that value if you won. So in a way of, wouldn't you like to know what the electrical component of this draw would actually be worth and increase it to the level that the 100K would actually cover so that you're maximizing your value?
That's actually a very interesting point. So, like, just so I understand, and for every one of the other listeners who is listening as well, each one of these 400 people have the position of winning $100,000 towards home improvements, right?
Yeah.
And unless you're running into customers like I have, where they want 60 space heaters cut through their home and upgrade to a 300 amp service, it's very rare that they're going to have $100,000 of electrical renovations lined up. So what you're doing there is you're saying, would you like to know what could actually be done so you could utilize the majority of this towards it? That way you're not wasting anything and you're making this investment 100% work towards the equity of your home.
Yeah. And this evaluation inspection would typically cost money, but because you are part of the contest, it's part of it. That's the next step.
Yeah.
As my mentor, Jim Rohn, used to say, if you're asking for water, you better bring a bucket or the kids will laugh at you.
You're not wrong.
Finally tied that one in. I didn't know what that meant for so long.
It's true.
And give them the bucket.
Yeah. The concept, I guess, in my interpretation of that is, if you're going to ask for something, at the very least, be prepared to receive it.
Yes.
Can't receive something that you're not ready for. You know,
100%.
that's why I think Confucius said a bowl is most useful when it's empty.
Yeah. Nice.
Right?
Yeah.
There we go.
Love that. So that was just a thought that you jogged in my mind, thinking like, okay, pre-contest, another reason to go there, another reason for the inspection, that because frame. We're always looking for that.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
All right. You inspired me now.
All
because
right,
you keep
here we
saying
go.
pre-contest. Now, the thing is that, do these 400 people suddenly cease their need for electrical services after the contest is done?
Not at all. And we still have the list.
So what's stopping us from doing a post prize reveal at that point as well?
Yeah.
So what we can do is we can say, hey, by the way, I just want to let you know, I saw that you were entered in this contest. Unfortunately, you did not win, but I do have great news. You did actually qualify for a smaller drawing, which is valued up to $500. Would you like us to come over to your home to determine how to best allocate that in your home?
Transfer to an in-house giveaway. I love it. Oh,
and
man.
Now you have a $500 balance that, quote unquote, you can give away. And if you think about it, yeah, you may have the occasional customer who's going to get you to exactly $500, and that's going to be that. But if you have 400 people and you apply the process the right way, and I love it because I designed it specifically to create maximum value at every interaction. You're learning the emotional concerns. You're learning who's in the family. You're learning who's been affected, why they need it, why they can't avoid just getting away with not doing it. If you can get through all those answers, you're going to be looking at $500 in your rearview mirror.
I got to
So
touch on the strategy here, if that's okay.
by all means.
Really, what we're talking about, guys, by giving this a timeline and essentially deciding what points we're going to touch on people, it's really what we call a drip campaign. And drip campaigns have been known to increase your conversions by a large margin. And the reason is simple. Every time you cause engagement with someone, trust grows that little bit. Awareness grows that little bit. You cause thoughts again that little bit. And you might just think it's for just that moment. And even if someone identified that you were an electrician looking to serve them further and they didn't have time and were like pissy about it at one time and said, I don't have time for this, they're still thinking about it again. Mm-hmm. It's on their mind. And that means you did your job. And that's why so many people over so many years have said the power's in the list. In a lot of ways, that meant the email list, but really it's bigger than that. Drip campaigns work for prospects, works for clients, works for your next all-star, works anytime you're trying to build a relationship. The more you touch on someone with your kind, caring, value-centered approach, the more success you'll have. In fact, Johnson & Johnson did a study in the early 2000s across sales in every industry, and Johnson & Johnson's pretty big, so they've got some numbers to check. And they found that people, on average, buy between the 5th and the 12th touch. So that means all the times that we're only bringing our A game once to someone and never talking to them again, you're missing by 4 touch points. And the increase in conversion there could be huge.
I would agree with you completely. I really, really would. Now, I have an idea. I don't know its merit, but it's just off top of head, and I want to know what your thoughts are. Mm-hmm. So imagine afterwards, there's actually a third category to where we can leverage these leads to actually benefit us, right? So imagine you end up selling something to one of them, or even worst comes to worst, you do a free service for them. One of the conditions could be that you're willing to put a lawn sign out for your company for up to 3 weeks. Amazing service provided by Service Loop Electrical. Something like that. Another happy home served by Service Loop Electrical. Something there that you could say, all right, not only did we get these free leads and we did a first touch point, the second is that even if they lost, we're doing a second touch point. And the third touch point now is every single person who passes that house, all of the neighbors, all of the traffic that goes by, anyone who passes the house has to see our name through means of exposure. And that counts as a touch point because every time they see it, they remember, Service Electrical, Service Electrical, Service Electrical. And now at that point, you can have a position to where you can get even more leads from the ones that were already organic, whether you sold them or not.
Absolutely. And I love that you have an exchange there because people are often skeptics when things are free. Mm-hmm. So by adding that, there's actually a because frame again. And we're going to honor this, if you will, do just this for us because that would help us in our marketing efforts too.
Exactly.
It's an exchange. Why wouldn't they?
Make it even smoother. You can say, honestly, I would love working with you. I've had such a pleasure working with you. And I feel like if I had more customers like you, I would be a happy person. Could I ask you for a favor? If I were to be so bold as to ask to put a sign out in the front, just saying that you were served by our company, I know I'd be able to attract more people like you. Would I be so bold as to ask you for that favor?
Now I want to take it. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, but now it's a situation where you're asking the same thing, but you're asking from a position of, would you help me? And if you've already had the law of reciprocity established, they probably owe you that little touch.
100%. In a good value exchange, absolutely. Abundant value exchange. Let's go a step further. We're just going down this rabbit hole, man. Oh, man. This might be one of the most valuable marketing episodes we've ever done. And I'm really proud of that. But here we go. What is a yard sign in marketing? It's a channel. It's a tool placed in a channel, and that channel is live human traffic that's driving by, that lives in your neighborhood, that builds trust for your brand, that builds brand awareness. What's another channel that we could use that very same tactic, even simpler?
So the things that I also see as well, I mean, my first brain goes basic and it says every time I park my van, I'm parking in a way that people can see. I think there are door hangers we can do. But one thing you could do as well, and this I actually personally did and found a lot of success with, is you print out extra t-shirts, extra company uniforms saying served by Service Loop Electrical. And you give them to every person that you go to serve at that level. You know, it's like, hey, part of the prize is this. I want to let you know you received this. Feel free to wear it whenever you'd like. Put the sign up on the front. And now they're reaching even more people.
Love it. Love it. Let me ask a question to our live audience in the Facebook group. Guys, have you ever had any traction in your local Facebook group? Has anyone ever got clients from there? Good reviews, repeat customers, referrals, reviews in there, right? This was, in this case, a local radio station did a draw. Likely people in that Facebook group know about it. Because you're the sponsor of that draw, I'm sure you could tie in a graphic, make a graphic for this specific purpose, even if it was just your own. Keep it simple. Reach out just the same way as the yard signs, but also add, or instead add, I just need you to post this in that group one time. If you could get one person every day to post the same image with how you served them and how they took part in your draw, can you imagine the power? What if that Facebook group has hundreds or thousands? Edwin's with us in the group, says 60% of his traffic comes from Facebook. What if holistically all these people within that group each day posted for you?
Oh my God. That literally is brain breaking at this point, because we've taken free leads. We've then capitalized on multiple individual touches. We then have yard signs that go into place. We then have the ability of then the customer on a condition of, we'll do this for a post. I mean, even then, wouldn't you be willing to apply a $500 credit for a yard sign and a free Facebook referral every day?
Even if only 1 in 10 did that, if there was a 10% conversion on that, that's still 40 people multiplying your leads, saying good things about you, building interest for your brand.
Sounds like a straight up win.
What's in the way of it though?
What's in the way, unfortunately, is just us. It's the desire to say, can I take action on this? It honestly, the first feeling is it feels overwhelming, right? Like, how many business owners reach out to us and say, like, I can't get my hand on my business. I don't know what's going on. Everything's too busy. Home, business, life, kids, family. That's the first thing I see is overwhelming. But if we can break it down into small bite-sized steps, it becomes more manageable and becomes less overwhelming.
Let's do that. For example, either your situation you set up or mine, I'll go with mine quick and just say, hey, digital marketing happens really fast. I'm sure that right now I could produce a Service Loop electrical sign, because we already have a few templates from all the different shit we're doing anyway. I could then get that sign to someone with an offer, the very thing that you've said today for the yard signs, do it for a graphic online, and I could offer that to 10 clients in the next 40 minutes flat.
And that would be a hell of a lot faster than what I was going to do, because though the yard sign is very, very effective for local traffic, and it helps with the concept of keeping up with the Joneses. Like, if you've got Karen next door and she wants to know what you've been doing because she's looking at you through the windshield or looking through the blinds, it'd be like, well, I got to go with that company. Clearly, the Jones are doing them. I got to call them too. But I like what you're doing as well, because what that is it's a much more targeted approach on a wider scale.
The reality is it takes that focus. Like you said, when we're in overwhelm, everything becomes about perfection for electricians. If you disagree, go ahead, raise a hand in the group. Let us know. Let us know if you're present more than perfect. But for the most part, I would say the 80-20 rule applies. About 80% of us are aiming for perfection, letting the weight of that decision hang with us all night. So we're not going to sleep well, waking up with it. So we're not going to feel good at the beginning of the day, carrying it through all the other tasks and endless to-do lists that we're not getting done, instead of just taking action. Just get it done. Just do it.
I wonder, honestly, if this is an electrical thing, because the fact is so many of us are geared to do things logically and sequentially and through process. Like, it's how we operate in everything. So maybe just being able to step out of that mindset and say, what can I do right now? Instead of being perfect, how can I be present?
No kidding. I love that. So guys, we've talked about quite a bit here today. We are running low on time. We've just actually given an action item. Now, that was assuming you had a bunch of warm leads, but let me just point out, this could be working for every client you serve right now. The very thing Joseph said sounds very similar to stuff that's written into our process right now. And people are able to use to ask for a review and a referral and even a repeat transaction right now. So my question to you is, hard self-reflection moment, what are you doing right now to cause those things, to cause multiplication of your leads, to cause greater conversions, to cause more repeats, referrals, and reviews? What are you doing right now for that? Is it enough? Can we do more? What can we do for an all-star action for these guys?
Realistically, the first thing that comes to mind, and I want to say, Rapid Electric, I'm super proud of you. What can I advise you on as far as a super action? Realistically, what I would say is to say, I understand that we want to get home at a certain time, but I also want to let you know that imagine there is a clock, a physical scoreboard clock ticking directly over these leads. And though it may seem like a Herculean effort, I would say at a bare minimum, you dedicate between 1 to 2 hours per day, and you make outreach calls, and you set yourself up to say, I'm going to take action on this. This could even be translatable to everyone who isn't in that free lead scenario, because all these things like your the door hangers or the EDDMs or the yard signs, like all of that requires your time, attention, and energy. But once you build it, it's built. So are you taking between 1 to 2 hours a day to further your brand so that you won't always have to spin this rat race wheel?
Absolutely. And imagine the impact, guys. We're really talking about organic strategies here. Everything we've mentioned today did not require you to hire anyone to do it, other than maybe to make a yard sign, right? Make a t-shirt. Organic stuff. Imagine if your business was able to run 100% organic and you knew you were profitable at that point, well-oiled machine, and then you took money and threw it at the machine. Then you said, I'll put a coin in the marketing machine. We already run great. We're already profitable. Let's grow it. Scale versus growth. Right there is a fine example. I actually used the wrong term. Let's scale it now. Right?
Absolutely love it.
Makes sense. Congratulations to Rapid Electric again, guys. This whole episode has been framed by that drip campaign mentality, that organic lead generation, knowing that you should have strategic steps to continue dripping on your prospects. They will turn to clients. Our follow-up script that we give away, as we've said many times before, led one contractor to increase follow-up sales by 18x. That was not a coincidence. That comes from consistent process drips. If you recognize that this very moment while you're speaking to a client is just a moment in time where they're feeling an emotion that is out of our control in some cases, then if we come back another time, and we come back another time, if we keep showing up for these people, what are the odds that we get them at a better time? Because again, their electrical needs, desires, and problems aren't going away until they're solved. They're always going to be there. Question is, are you? All right.
Drop.
All right. Little silence after that one. Mic drop, guys. I'm Clay Newmeyer. This is Joseph Lucani. We are Electricpreneurs. And we're here to help you master sales, simplify pricing, and deliver premium level service. I know that we did just that today. And I know that you'll do just that if you keep hanging with us right here 5 days a week. We'll see you again next time. Cheers,
Take care,
Joseph.
all.